Any man that opens his book with two forwards, two intros, and the first bloke that writes the forward is Pat Cummins, and then you just drop in Virat Kohli, it's a nice way to start a book, Maxie. I'm fascinated by the relationship and the man that is Virat Kohli, because I can remember games of cricket of you earlier. I think Virat refers to it in the forward, saying, when I didn't know Glenn as a person, we were both hyper competitive. We probably weren't two dudes that got on. And this is the beauty that people don't understand of the IPL. You've been playing with Virat Kohli for the last number of extra years at RCB. Tell me about Virat Kohli as a person and his life in India that you see. We'll get to your life in India, but his life.
So Virat is one guy who I feel I've got a great relationship with. And that's the coming together of the stages of our lives, the things that we've been through over our careers, timing, and the fact that we're both just comfortable in our own skins to be open to each other. And that first year at RCB, we spent so much time together off the field and then around the training track that we just became really, really tight, and we were able to be really open and honest with our vulnerabilities, like talking about cricket technique, life, all that sort of stuff. And I'm glad I wasn't at RCB sooner for that reason, that we were able to be at that stage of our lives to, I suppose, develop a friendship where we were both really comfortable enough to be open. Maybe 5 or 6 years before that, I probably wasn't at that stage, and maybe he probably wasn't either. He was super high competitive, much the same as me. We clashed a fair bit on the field, and it just probably took to that time for us to just be so comfortable with each other. And the stuff that I've seen from him off the field, what he goes through over there day by day, I don't know how he does it.
Try and explain it. Try and give people an understanding of people that haven't travelled to India.
We had a training session where me and him both went reasonably early to training, got all our stuff done. I think it was an optional session. So we both got our stuff done, batted together, batted for a while, finished up and said, can we get a car back to the hotel just so we can go get dinner or whatever, make sure it's an earlier night. So we jumped in a car. Immediately alarm bells are going off in my head, like, this is probably not a good idea. Where's the security? Like, we had a security in that in the front seat of the car. We had a car behind us full of police. As we're driving out of Chennaswamy Stadium, people notice that Virat's in the car and just start punching on the windows, like beating up this car, like trying to like get his attention and get him to look at them. Like, not even just like waving. I'm surprised the car just didn't have dents all over it, because they were just banging on this car, and I was like, this is so uncomfortable. How can people make you feel like this? It's just, and I was just looking at him, I was like, how do you deal with this on a day-to-day basis? And he sort of just shrugged it off. It's like, it's just what I go through. It's a scary way for him to live, but obviously where he lives is quite far out of, I suppose, Main Street, Mumbai, and
have a decent pad, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's got a nice little place. He loves showing it off and like different like things that are going on in his place. And but yeah, I to sort of see that firsthand, it was a bit heartbreaking. Like, sort of watching it, I was like, I couldn't do that.
It looks like a zoo, doesn't it?
I just couldn't go through that. Like, it's just so high stress all the time. And when's your time just to relax, play on the phone, like call family, like while you're in the car on the way back? None of that. Like, had to just literally keep his head down and just not pay any attention to it. And it was loud. Like, and they wouldn't let the car go anywhere. So the car was boxed out. The cop had to get out and basically just start whacking people with a stick. It was awful.
Maxie, I remember at an IPL 2 years ago that I was trying to get into the gym in the morning and it was locked up. And there's a security with an enormous gun. He said, no. And gym closed. I was pretty keen to do some exercise, and I saw Virat was in there by himself, which is why they closed it. And I said, mate, I'm a guest, blah, blah, blah. And they eventually let me in. I just left him to be, said, g'day. He was doing massive bloody squats, and I was doing these little pissy beach weights. But then then when I went to leave, they wouldn't let me leave in case someone dashed through the door. So I had to wait for him to finish before people have.
How long did he go for?
And a fair bit longer than me. I'll give you that. He's a powerful, powerful man.